Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real important today. We live in a world that glorifies the hustle, that tells you if you ain't grinding 24/7, you don't want it bad enough. But let me be the first to tell you, burnout doesn't lead to breakthrough, it leads to breakdown. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is step back, catch your breath, and allow yourself the time to recharge. And rest is not weakness, it is wisdom and strength in disguise. Too many times people confuse the idea of slowing down with the idea of giving up. In a world that constantly pushes us to run faster, work harder, and grind longer, the thought of stopping for a moment feels like failure. But the truth is, when you take a step back to rest, you are actually showing the highest level of strength, because it takes courage to admit you are human. It takes humility to recognize your limits, and it takes wisdom to know that your best self can only show up when you are fully restored. Think about it. Even the strongest athletes in the world, the ones we admire for their discipline and power, understand the importance of rest days. They don't train relentlessly every single day without giving their bodies time to recover, because they know that rest is part of the process of becoming stronger. In fact, it is during rest that muscles repair, grow, and adapt, not while they're being pushed to the maximum. The same principle applies to your mind and spirit. If you never take time to pause, to breathe, and to let your soul recharge, you are running yourself into exhaustion, and exhaustion never produces greatness. Rest is not an excuse to be lazy. It is a strategic decision to come back sharper and more focused. Laziness is rooted in avoidance, but rest is rooted in preparation. When you are lazy, you are running from your responsibilities. But when you rest, you are preparing yourself to meet those responsibilities with greater energy. People who refuse to rest often find themselves breaking down mentally, physically, and emotionally, because they are trying to give out energy they no longer have. They show up to their jobs, to their families, to their dreams, half present, half tired, and half effective, when they could have been at their fullest potential if they had just taken the wisdom to pause. The strongest leaders, the ones who accomplish great things, know that rest is not optional, it is necessary. They understand that their ability to make decisions, inspire others, and push boundaries depends on their state of mind, and a tired mind cannot see clearly, cannot think creatively, and cannot act boldly. When you give yourself permission to rest, you are acknowledging your value. You are saying to yourself, I am worthy of recovery. I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of coming back stronger. Rest is not about the world telling you it's okay. It's about you realizing you don't have to prove your worth by overworking yourself. People who tie their value to constant motion end up burning out and resenting the very things they once loved. But people who embrace rest can sustain passion for the long run. There is wisdom in recognizing that every season has its rhythm. And just as nature has day and night, summer and winter, your life also requires balance between movement and stillness. Without that balance, you are setting yourself up to collapse. But with it, you are setting yourself up for longevity. Think about your phone or your car. You don't expect them to run endlessly without fuel or charge. You plug them in, you fill the tank, and you know it's a necessary step if you want them to perform. Yet so often we expect ourselves to keep going with no pause, no recharge, and no restoration. It doesn't make sense. If the very tools we rely on need energy to function, why would we, the ones operating them, believe we don't? Rest is not weakness, it is wisdom in action. It takes discipline to turn off the noise, walk away from the pressure, and allow yourself to be renewed. The weak keep going until they collapse. The strong stop before they reach their breaking point, and they return with more power than before. Rest is where your mind sharpens, where your body recovers, and where your spirit finds peace. It's not the end of progress. It's the secret behind making progress sustainable. Even the most powerful tools need time to recharge before they can perform again. No matter how advanced, efficient, or durable something is, there comes a moment when it must pause and regain its energy to function at its best. A phone that boasts the latest technology becomes useless once the battery drains. A car with the most powerful engine cannot move an inch without fuel. A lamp with the brightest bulb remains dark without electricity. The point is simple. Everything, no matter how strong or powerful it may seem, requires renewal to operate. If that is true for tools made by human hands, how much more true is it for us as human beings? Crafted with bodies, minds, and spirits that constantly pour out energy every single day. People often forget that strength does not come from endless output. It comes from managing cycles of use and renewal. You can push yourself for hours, days, or even weeks, but eventually, without a break, you start running on empty. At first, you may not notice it. You convince yourself you are fine, that you can keep going, but slowly your focus fades. Your creativity declines. Your patience wears thin, and your motivation begins to crumble. This isn't because you are weak. It's because, like every powerful tool, you are running out of charge. The strongest machines and the strongest people share one truth. To continue performing at their highest level, they must stop, pause, and recharge. We live in a culture that glorifies nonstop action. The message is clear. If you slow down, someone else will pass you. If you rest, you're falling behind. But this mindset is what leaves so many people burnt out, exhausted, and broken. Power is not proven by how long you can go without stopping. It is proven by how wisely you manage your energy so you can go the distance. Think about it. Sprinters and marathon runners both need stamina, but their strategies are completely different. The sprinter explodes with energy for a short distance, but the marathon runner carefully balances effort and rest so they can finish strong. Life is not a sprint. It is a marathon, and just like those runners, you need time to breathe, to reset, and to refuel if you want to finish strong. Taking time to recharge is not just about physical energy. It is about mental and emotional energy too. When your mind is constantly cluttered, when your thoughts are racing, when stress piles up, your ability to think clearly diminishes. But when you allow yourself the time to step back and recharge, your mind resets. You begin to see solutions you couldn't see before. You begin to think creatively again. You begin to approach challenges with fresh eyes instead of frustration. In the same way your emotions need time to heal and restore, carrying the weight of disappointment, struggles, or even the demands of daily life without pausing to release them leaves you drained. Recharging emotionally gives you the ability to handle life with patience, compassion, and resilience. The most powerful tools we have as people, our minds, our creativity, our determination, our resilience, all work best when we are renewed. Neglecting to recharge is like expecting your phone to make calls with a dead battery. You can press the buttons, but nothing happens. You can push yourself, but nothing great comes out of exhaustion. This is why the wisest people, those who achieve the most in life, schedule time to rest and restore. They understand that recharging is not wasted time, it is preparation for the next breakthrough. Just like you plug in your phone so it can keep serving you, you must plug into what restores you. Whether that's prayer, meditation, sleep, time with loved ones, or silence so you can keep serving your purpose. Power without energy is an illusion. Strength without restoration eventually collapses. No tool, no matter how advanced, can operate endlessly without renewal. You are no different. To live at your fullest, to give your best, and to achieve greatness, you must respect the simple truth that even the most powerful tools need time to recharge before they can perform again. Clarity and creativity are born in moments of stillness. When the world around you is loud and your mind is racing with deadlines, worries, and responsibilities, it becomes almost impossible to think clearly. Noise clouds your vision, pressure blocks your imagination, and the constant urge to keep moving prevents you from seeing what is truly important. That is why stillness is so powerful. Stillness is not simply doing nothing. It is creating space for your thoughts to settle, for your mind to reset, and for your spirit to breathe. Just as muddy water clears when left undisturbed, your mind gains clarity when you allow yourself to pause. In that quiet space, answers you were chasing begin to reveal themselves. Ideas you couldn't access before rise to the surface. Decisions that once felt impossible suddenly make sense. People often believe they need to push harder, think longer, and force solutions when faced with challenges. But more effort does not always mean better results. Sometimes the breakthrough you are looking for arrives only after you step back. Think about the times you've been struggling with a problem, and then out of nowhere, while you were resting, walking, or simply sitting in silence, the solution appeared. That's the power of stillness. It allows your brain to process in the background, connecting ideas and forming insights you couldn't reach under pressure. Creativity does not thrive in chaos. It thrives in space. Just as a seed cannot grow in soil that is constantly being trampled, creative ideas cannot flourish in a mind that is endlessly busy. They need room to take root, and that room is found in stillness. Clarity also comes when you separate yourself from the constant noise of life. Social media, endless notifications, conversations, and commitments can crowd your mental space until you no longer hear your own voice. Stillness is the act of turning down the volume of the world so you can hear the whisper of your own intuition. In the quiet, you reconnect with your true priorities. You realize what actually matters and what distractions have been stealing your focus. You gain perspective on where you are headed and whether that direction aligns with your purpose. Without stillness, you risk running fast in the wrong direction, pouring effort into things that don't align with your deeper goals. Clarity prevents wasted energy by showing you the path that truly belongs to you. Creativity, too, is nurtured when you embrace stillness. Artists, inventors, and innovators throughout history have all understood the value of quiet reflection. They often stepped away from their work to walk, to meditate, or to simply sit in silence, knowing that inspiration rarely arrives when you chase it frantically. It comes when your mind is free to wander, when it is not bound by stress or overthinking. That is why some of the best ideas come in the shower, on a quiet drive, or during moments of solitude. Stillness creates the mental freedom necessary for imagination to flow. When you allow your mind to rest, it begins to play, to dream, to connect seemingly unrelated pieces into something new. That is the birthplace of innovation. In stillness, you also strengthen your connection to yourself. When life moves too fast, it is easy to lose touch with your emotions, your needs, and your inner voice. You become reactive instead of intentional, responding to demands without pausing to ask whether they align with your purpose. But when you give yourself moments of quiet, you listen to your heart again. You begin to notice what excites you, what drains you, and what inspires you. This awareness fuels authentic creativity because you are no longer creating from pressure. You are creating from truth. Authenticity thrives in clarity, and clarity is found in stillness. The world may tell you that rest and stillness are unproductive, but the reality is they are the foundation of productivity. The most successful people are not the ones who never stop, but the ones who know when to pause, reflect, and allow their minds to reset. In that pause, they discover direction, unlock creativity, and finances that eluded them while they were too busy to notice. Clarity and creativity are not forced by constant activity. They are born in moments of stillness. Taking time for yourself is an investment in your future success. Too often, people think of time for themselves as selfish or unnecessary, as if stepping away from constant demands means they are neglecting their duties. But the truth is the opposite. When you take time for yourself, you are fueling your ability to show up stronger, wiser, and more effective in every area of your life. Just like money placed in the right investment grows with time, the moments you dedicate to your personal growth, healing, and renewal pay you back with multiplied strength, clarity, and focus for the future. Success is not built only on the hours of work you put in, it is also built on the quality of the energy you bring to that work. And quality energy comes from taking time for yourself. Imagine working nonstop without ever pausing to rest or reflect. At first you might make progress, but eventually exhaustion sets in. Decisions become harder, patience becomes thinner, and motivation begins to fade. Many people push themselves until they are completely drained, only to realize too late that burnout has stolen their joy and their drive. Taking time for yourself prevents that crash. It is not wasted time. It is preparation for the journey ahead. It is like sharpening a blade before using it. The sharper the blade, the more effective the cut. When you sharpen yourself through rest, reflection, and renewal, you are equipping yourself to handle challenges with greater precision and less wasted energy. This investment in yourself takes many forms. Sometimes it means physical rest, giving your body the chance to recover so it can carry you forward with strength. Other times it means mental rest, stepping away from noise, distractions, and constant demands so your thoughts can reset and your creativity can rise. It can also mean emotional renewal, allowing yourself to process feelings, release stress, and reconnect with what truly matters. Every form of time you take for yourself deposits energy into your future. The hours you spend resting today add fuel to the work you will do tomorrow. The quiet moments you dedicate to reflection today give direction to the path you will take tomorrow. The emotional healing you embrace today provides the resilience you will need tomorrow. Too many people believe that constant work guarantees success, but in reality, constant work without renewal only guarantees fatigue. The people who reach great heights are not those who never stop, but those who know when to pause and refill their energy. Taking time for yourself is not about escaping responsibility. It is about equipping yourself to handle responsibility more effectively. A leader who never rests eventually becomes short-tempered, unclear, and uninspired. But a leader who makes time to recharge returns to their role with vision, patience, and the ability to inspire others. The same principle applies in every area: family, business, personal goals, and dreams. When you choose to take time for yourself, you are sending a message that you value your well-being. And in valuing your well-being, you protect your future. No dream can be achieved if your body is broken, your mind is exhausted, and your spirit is empty. But when you make the conscious choice to recharge, you are building a foundation for long-term success. You are saying, I am preparing myself for the battles ahead. I am investing in my strength so that I can continue the fight. Success is not measured by how many hours you can push through. It is measured by how effectively you can sustain your journey over time. The truth is, your future depends on the way you care for yourself today. Every moment of rest Every breath of calm, every pause for reflection adds to your ability to perform at your highest level tomorrow. Taking time for yourself is not a luxury, it is a necessity, because the person you are becoming depends on the investment you make in yourself now. When you understand this, you stop feeling guilty for stepping away, and you start seeing it as one of the wisest decisions you can ever make. You cannot pour into others or your dreams from an empty cup. Life demands so much from you every single day. Your family needs you, your work requires you, your goals pull at you, and the world itself constantly asks for your attention. It's easy to get caught in the cycle of giving, giving, and giving without ever stopping to refill your own spirit. At first, you may be able to keep up with the demands, but eventually when your energy runs dry, you realize you have nothing left to offer. Just like a cup that has been empty cannot quench anyone's thirst, a person who has drained themselves cannot fully show up for their dreams or the people they love. This is why self-care, renewal, and restoration are not selfish acts, but acts of necessity. To give your best to others and to your purpose, you must first give to yourself. Too many people believe that sacrificing themselves completely is the only way to prove their love, loyalty, or dedication. They think that by running on empty, they are showing strength. But in reality, neglecting yourself leaves you weaker and less capable of supporting anyone else. Imagine trying to water a garden with a dry watering can. No matter how much you want to nurture the plants, nothing flows out. You first have to refill the can before you can pour into the soil. In the same way, you must refill your body, mind, and soul before you can pour into your responsibilities. When you care for yourself, you expand your capacity to care for others and to pursue your vision with energy and passion. Pouring from an empty cup leads to frustration, resentment, and burnout. At first, you may not notice it, but over time, constantly giving without receiving leaves you drained. You show up tired, unmotivated, and disconnected. The very people you wanted to support begin to feel your absence. Not because you don't care, but because you no longer have the energy to give them what they need. Your dreams begin to stall, not because you lack talent, but because you lack the strength to push them forward. But when you make it a priority to refill your cup, everything changes. You show up for your loved ones with patience and presence. You attack your goals with energy and focus. You live with joy instead of exhaustion. Filling your cup looks different for everyone. For some, it may mean taking quiet time alone to reflect, pray, or meditate. For others, it may mean engaging in activities that bring joy, like reading, exercising, or spending time in nature. Sometimes it's as simple as getting enough sleep, eating nourishing food, or surrounding yourself with people who uplift you instead of drain you. Whatever it looks like, the point is the same. You cannot give what you do not have. If you want to give love, peace, wisdom, or encouragement, you must first nurture those qualities within yourself. Your dreams also demand a full cup. Pursuing a vision requires passion, creativity, persistence, and resilience. Those qualities cannot come from a place of emptiness. You cannot build a business, write a book, grow a skill, or chase any goal if your energy has been depleted. Recharging yourself is the fuel that allows you to keep moving forward when challenges appear. When your cup is full, setbacks do not break you as easily because you have the emotional and mental reserves to rise again. When your cup is full, opportunities excite you instead of overwhelm you because you have the capacity to take them on. Your dreams are far too important to be starved by exhaustion. They need you at your best, not at your breaking point. The truth is, pouring into yourself is the most generous thing you can do because it ensures that you have more to give. It ensures that your family gets the best version of you, that your work benefits from your clarity and energy, and that your dreams receive the persistence they require. An empty cup cannot give, but a full cup overflows naturally. When you invest in filling yourself, your overflow blesses everyone and everything around you. Your overflow blesses everyone and everything around you. Recharging allows you to reset your strength and return with unstoppable energy. Every time you pause to restore yourself, you are not losing ground. You are preparing to surge forward with greater power. Life has a way of draining you, little by little, through challenges, stress, responsibilities, and unexpected setbacks. Even when you are strong, even when you are determined, constant strain slowly wears down your energy. You may not notice it immediately, but over time you begin to feel the heaviness in your body, the fog in your mind, and the discouragement in your spirit. That is why recharging is so important. It acts as a reset button that clears away fatigue, rebuilds your resilience, and brings back the fire you need to continue. Without recharging, you risk breaking under the weight of pressure, but with it, you rise stronger than ever before. When you recharge, you give your body the time to repair itself. Muscles that have been strained recover, energy that has been used up is replenished, and the physical weariness that slows you down begins to fade. You can feel the difference between dragging yourself through the day and walking with energy and confidence. The same is true for your mind. Mental exhaustion makes it difficult to think clearly, make good decisions, or see new possibilities. But once you give your mind a chance to rest, it resets. Suddenly, problems that once seemed impossible begin to look manageable. Ideas that felt out of reach begin to flow again. You realize that the obstacle wasn't always the situation itself, but the exhaustion clouding your ability to handle it. Emotionally, recharging restores balance. When you are tired and stressed thin, even small frustrations can feel overwhelming. You become irritable, impatient, and more easily discouraged. But when you step back to rest and reset, your emotions stabilize. You approach situations with calm instead of chaos, with patience instead of pressure. This renewed emotional strength allows you to handle challenges with wisdom instead of reacting out of exhaustion. That emotional reset is what keeps you moving forward when others might give up, because you are no longer drained, you are refreshed and ready to rise again. Recharging also resets your perspective. When you are constantly grinding without pause, you can lose sight of the bigger picture. You may start to confuse busyness with progress and effort with results. But when you stop and take time to renew yourself, you gain clarity on where you are and where you need to go. That clarity brings focus, and focus multiplies your strength. Instead of scattering your energy in 100 directions, you return with the ability to aim at what truly matters. In this way, recharging doesn't just give you back energy, it makes your energy more effective. You move with intention, not just activity, and that is the difference between being busy and being productive. The energy you gain from recharging is not ordinary energy, it is unstoppable because it comes from a place of wholeness. It is not the shaky momentum of someone pushing past their breaking point. It is the steady, powerful momentum of someone who has renewed their strength. That kind of energy cannot be easily shaken by setbacks or delays. It gives you endurance for the long race, not just a short sprint. It allows you to rise after failure, to push through obstacles, and to keep going when others have quit. Recharging transforms your energy from temporary to lasting, from fragile to unbreakable. Every great achievement requires sustained effort, and sustained effort is only possible when you build cycles of recharging into your journey. By resetting your strength regularly, you ensure that you never run completely empty. You are always returning with fresh energy, sharper focus, and a renewed spirit. That consistency of renewal is what makes you unstoppable, because no matter how many times life drains you, you always come back ready to fight again with more power than before.